Hello everyone, this is just a dad. Today I'm going to do a review on this Keurig K-Duo Essentials coffee maker. So it does K-cups and you can use your own coffee grounds to brew a full 12 cup pot of coffee. So on the right side here we can lift this up. We can put a K-cup in here. It's got a single needle on the top, single needle on the bottom. When you close it, it's going to pierce the K-cup. We can do 8, 10, or 12 ounces through that K-cup. On the left side we've got a full carafe. This is a full 12 cup carafe. We've got a warming plate that's going to keep your coffee warm for 2 hours. Here's where the filter basket goes. Now you are going to have to put a filter in there. You can put a reusable filter in there or 8 to 12 cup paper basket style filter. You're going to put your coffee grounds in there. Then over here you can press the cups button and you can do 8, 10, or 12 cups on the carafe side. Now around back we do have a nice big reservoir with a lid. Now the first time you use this coffee maker, I recommend filling the reservoir up and then lifting the reservoir on and off about 10 to 15 times. You're going to get a bunch of air bubbles coming out. I call this priming the Keurig, lifting it on and off. That's really going to help. Now it does not come with a water filter, but you can install this short handle water filter. The water filter will help if your water tastes like chlorine or has a high chlorine smell, it'll help with that. You just snap it onto that black part right there. So back up here at the top, the controls are very simple. So if you want to brew a K-cup, you're going to press the ounce button. If you want to brew the carafe, you're going to press the cups button. And then you got to press the corresponding button here if you want to brew 8, 10, or 12 ounces or 8, 10, or 12 cups. We do have an add water light and a descale light. This is a blue light. So if it's flashing at you, so this will flash at you when you need to add water, but if the blue light is on steady, that means it's time to descale your coffee maker. Now down here we do have a nice little drip tray that we can take in and out. And again, here's the carafe, got a hinged lid. And this is the warming plate. The warming plate's gonna come on automatically after your coffee's done brewing. It's gonna stay on for 2 hours and it shuts off automatically. Okay, so I've got it plugged in, I've got water in the back. Let's lift the handle. Again, simply place the K-cup in here. When I close the handle, it's going to pierce the top and the bottom. I got to come over here. I got to press the ounce button. Again, these are going to flash. Do I want to do 8, 10, or 12? I like to brew mine on 8 ounces. So I'm going to press the 8 ounce button and we're going to see how long it takes. Okay, so about the 30-second mark, it starts to spin some coffee. And the coffee's coming out really hot. So about 186. So be careful, that's a very hot cup of coffee. Okay, so it takes about a minute to brew a cup of coffee. You're gonna end up with about 171 degree cup of coffee. That's very hot. I can't drink that cup of coffee right now, but it does make a really nice cup of coffee out of here. So you may notice the coffee maker gets a little loud after it's done brewing or sometimes right before it brews. That's because I've got an older one here that I took apart. There is a tank in here, so it has to heat the water up inside that tank. Once it gets to a certain temperature, then it shoots it through the K-cup. So it does come with this scoop, and it tells you how many to add. So the small side is 1 tablespoon, the big side is 2 tablespoons. And that's kind of what the picture represents. So for 1 cup of coffee, you're going to add 1 tablespoon or 1 small scoop. Again, this is for 2, so you can times it by 2 when you add that side. Okay, so let's make a pot of coffee now. You're going to open up the filter basket side here. Put your filter in. Again, 8 to 12 cup basket style filter. You can use a reusable, but you cannot use both of them at the same time. Now you're going to put 1 tablespoon. Again, I'm using the 2 side, so that's 2 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon per cup you're going to brew. I'm only allowed to brew 8, 10, or 12 cups. I cannot brew a smaller size on the carafe size. So if I brew the 8 cups, I want to put 8 tablespoons in here, the 10, the 10, the 12, 12 tablespoons. Okay, so I put a full 12 tablespoons of coffee in here, and you're going to close this. Make sure it closes all the way. Make sure your water reservoir is full. You're going to come over here and hit the cups button. Now these are going to flash. Do I want to do 8, 10, or 12 cups? I'm going to do the full 12. That light will flash. You'll hear kind of the water reservoir in the back heating up, and there's a water pump kicking on. So it starts brewing right away, about the 15-second mark. So it's going to kind of alternate. It's going to get quiet, and then you're going to hear that water boiling in the back. But you kind of constantly hear that water pump just a little bit. Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes. We're already almost to the 5 cup mark. It does have pause brewing, so if I want to grab a quick cup of coffee, I can grab this. There's a plunger going to come down and stop it. Pour me a cup of coffee, but you do have to make sure and put that back right away. Let's take a look, see how the K-Cup did. Here's how the K-Cup did earlier. Now you cannot brew both at the same time. So if it's doing the craft side, you cannot brew a K-Cup. Again, if it's doing the K-Cup, you cannot do a full pot of coffee. So on the K-Cup side, you can use reusable filters. So the Perfect Pod, these seem to work pretty good. You can put your coffee in there and the lid closes fine. The Keurig sells a My K-Cup. It works really well, but you do have to pop the filter basket out. So you're gonna poke up here from the top, from the bottom. This whole filter basket's gonna come out. You do have to remove this gray part right here. Your coffee's gonna go in here. Takes about almost 2 tablespoons. Put this all back together, line up the lock and turn it to the lock position. Make sure the red plug is installed. Then you're gonna bring it over here and line up the arrow with the hinge right there. Then I can close this and I can brew a single serve with using my own coffee grounds. So this is the needle basket for the K-Cup side. Once in a while you do have to kind of clean that needle with a paper clip, and you can take this apart. You're just gonna grab it and kind of pull it apart. When you're done, you're gonna line up these tabs. It's a good idea to take this apart and clean it once in a while. Then you're going to kind of line up these tabs here. The words are going to be towards you, and then just snap it into place. Okay, so the coffee coming out the bottom of the filter basket, I've seen as high as 186. It's a little hard to get on it. Yeah, I've seen 189. Okay, so about the 8-minute mark, you're going to hear the pump is shut off. It's got a little bit more to drain out of the filter basket. But up here, this changed from green to now it's red. That's to let you know that the warming plate is on. So that warming plate now is going to stay on for 2 hours automatically. After that 2 hours, it shuts off. And you'll know that that red light goes out. So let's say that I'm done with this coffee. I can turn that warming plate off automatically. I'm going to hold this button until that red light goes out. Now I just automatically turned the warming plate off. The machine is completely turned off. Okay, so let's see how the craft pours. Again, be careful, it is really heavy. But it pours really nice. Just take your time. It's really hot. Put it back. And you're going to end up with a 172 degree cup of coffee. Again, that's very hot. I think it makes a really good cup of coffee on the craft side. Okay, so when we're done, we can do cleanup now. We can see how the coffee grounds did. Here's how they did. Now be careful with this. Sometimes this does pull straight out. It does have a little filter basket we can take out. So if the tray stays installed, you can take this filter basket out. That's got that plunger on the bottom that's going to keep it from dripping. Take this over, get rid of your coffee grounds. I can put this filter basket in the dishwasher. Okay, so this Keurig K-Duo Essentials, the price can range anywhere from about $70 up to $100. They are typically putting this on sale. Now, originally this was only at Walmart. I'm starting to see it show up on Amazon. I'm even starting to see it show up under some different name brands. This coffee maker's been around a while. Now, it's very, very basic. Now, I took one apart. These are not meant to be taken apart. It basically destroys the coffee maker when you take it apart. So if something breaks on the inside, they're not really repairable. And again, there is a tank inside here, so you make sure you keep up on the D scale. There is no thermostat to reset on the inside. Now, the common problems I've seen in the description or in my comments on this coffee maker are there's an add water light. If your add water light stops working, it's this little sensor right here, but there's a vent tube. So you got to make sure that vent tube is clear. That can be a little hard to get to because on a completely assembled coffee maker, it's back here behind the hinge. It does have a control board. I've seen where the control board goes bad in the description. So it does have one water pump. So it's going to send either the water to the craft side or the K-Cup side. And there is a valve that controls that. And then for descale, there is no logic to put the machine into. So I'm not really sure how it's sensing it's time to descale. If the descale light comes on, I would unplug it and let it sit overnight and see if your descale light goes out. Or there might be a sensor in there because it might be based on how many brews. But like this coffee maker, you don't put it into a special descale mode in order to get the descale light to go out. You do have to descale it. And the process, the manual really doesn't talk about it a lot. And in fact, I'm going to do a new video on how to descale it because the manual that is written for this is online on how to descale it. And it tells you only to put about 14 ounces in there, and you're going to run the machine dry, which I don't think, it's not a good idea to ever run these machines dry. So the descaling procedure, I'm going to come up with my own that I think is going to work really good on this coffee maker. But again, some people they'll descale it, and then the descale light never goes out. But they do sell a lot of these coffee makers. So again, I don't know the percentage of the ones that break. I do see where some people have they'll leave in the comments whether this one does break. But I think for the most part, these are relatively good coffee makers. And Keurig does sell 2 other K-Duos that are a lot more expensive actually, but they actually have some different features, which I have comparison videos to show you all 3 different K-Duos. And they range all the way up to $200, $150, and this one ranges around $100. I'll put description or links to this in the show description notes. Underneath the video, if you see the word see more, click on that. It's going to bring up a full description of the video. I'll put links to all of these products that I have in here. Now, if you click on the link, it's going to either take you to Walmart or Amazon. I'm a Walmart and an Amazon affiliate. If you click on the link, it'll take you to the product page. And if you end up buying the product, I do get a percentage of the sale. The product won't cost you anymore, but it is a way of supporting my channel. I buy all this with my own money. And this video is my own video. And if you could, below the video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that really helps my video. Again, thanks everybody for watching. And if you could, please like, which is the thumbs up button, and hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching.